Okay, Amna. So your code is basically your code is 9702. Sesh. We're going to be covering up 1112 and 52. All right, we're going to be appearing for two components: pure mathematics 1, variant 2, and this is this 5 represent S1 basically, statistics 1. It's paper 5, variant 2. 2 is pure mathematics 2, variant 2. Third component is pure mathematics 3, which you're going to appear for in A2. You're not going to appear for P2, neither in AS nor in A2. And then 42 is the component that you're going to appear in A2, that is mechanics. And 52 is basically S1. It's a statistics. It's a statistics component. So you're going to appear for 1, 2, and 5, 2. All right, and let me first share with you the curriculum for pure mathematics 1. So you have like 10 topics. Gonna start off with coordinate geometry. And then we're gonna move on to quadratics. Then we're gonna be moving on to functions. Then we're gonna be moving on to AP and GP. That's arithmetic progression, geometric progression. ये भी आपने स्टडी किया होगा? नहीं किया, स्टडी तो किया है. और then we gonna be learning about binomial expansion. आमना आवाज आ रही बेटा? And then we're going to be learning about आमना आवाज आ रही है?
जी सर, आवाज आ रही है. जी सर.
All right. Then we're going to be learning about trigonometry. Then we're going to be learning about circular measure. Then we're going to be learning about differentiation. And then we're going to be learning about just a minute. Integration. Total of 9 topics that we're going to be covering up, inshallah. All right. Let me also share with you the curriculum as well. Let me show it to you from Cambridge curriculum, that is 23-24. Okay, so this is for the examinations to be held in 23-24. So this is a further mathematics. Sorry. Let me download it for 23 and 24. I have the syllabus up to So Cambridge A-level mathematics 2023 syllabus. All right. So I'm just going to get it downloaded. A-level mathematics. Okay. We may remove this now. No use. All right. So this is the syllabus. आमना मैं आपके साथ syllabus share कर रहा हूँ. Let's have a look. So अच्छा ये आपके पास एक ओवरव्यू है प्योर मैथमेटिक्स 1 क्वाड्रेटिक्स फंक्शंस कोऑर्डिनेट ज्योमेट्री सर्कुलर मेजर ट्रिग्नोमेट्री. अच्छा ये सीरीज के अंदर एपीजीपी और बाइनोमियल दोनों आ जाते हैं. तो उसको मैं ऑफ कोर्स देयर आर टू डिफरेंट टॉपिक्स तो हम अलग पढ़ेंगे. देन डिफरेंशिएशन इंटीग्रेशन. सो देयर आर इन टोटल ऑफ 9 टॉपिक्स that we're going to be covering up in P1 and in mechanics let me attach it for you. अच्छा ये जो आपका मैकेनिक्स है sorry statistics, that's probability and statistics. Probability and statistics 1. तो इसका जो करिकुलम है दैट्स इसको तो बता दिया आपको कि 5-2 है एंड अच्छा द फर्स्ट टॉपिक इज रिप्रेजेंटेशन ऑफ डेटा. ठीक है ना. Then we're going to be learning about permutation combinations. जो आपने एडवांस में पढ़ी है वो तो है ही प्लस कुछ इसमें एक्सटेंशन है. Then we're going to be learning about probability, simple probability, basic probability. Then we're going to be learning about discrete random variable. Then we're going to be learning about binomial distribution. Then we're going to be learning about normal distribution. And then we're going to be learning about geometric distribution. There are in total of 7 topics. यहाँ पे मैं आपको दिखा देता हूँ. अच्छा ये प्रोबेबिलिटी में ना आपके पास बाइनोमियल और ज्योमेट्रिक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन आएगा. इसमें हम जब आगे डिटेल में मैं आपको दिखा देता हूँ. सो ये जो 2 कंपोनेंट जिसके लिए आप एएस में अपीयर होंगी उनके करिकुलम में टॉपिक्स इंक्लूडेड है वो मैंने मेंशन कर दिए हैं. कोड और सब्जेक्ट कोड मेंशन कर दिए हैं. लेट्स मूव ऑन, लेट्स सी डिटेल्स. अच्छा ये जो है ना बेसिकली I just get confused every time. 9702 is of physics, 9709 is of mathematics, 9701 is of chemistry. ठीक है ना? 9709 सब्जेक्ट कोड और करिकुलम में जो टॉपिक्स इंक्लूडेड है दोनों कंपोनेंट्स में वो मैंने आपको बता दिए. लेट्स हैव अ डिटेल्ड लुक एट के. अच्छा ये जरा जरूरी है दोनों चीजें, ये मैं और इसके अलावा दूसरा क्या है मैं आपको पढ़ के अभी बता देता हूँ. अच्छा पेपर 1 is of 1 hour 50 minutes. It used to be of 1 hour 45 minutes, लेकिन आप इसको 1 hour 50 minutes कर दिया है. Carries 75 marks and you're gonna have 10 to 12 structured questions. That means it will be, from each topic there will be, one question. There will be like 1 or 2 topics from which you are gonna have more than one question, but her topics say you're going to have at least one question. That's something you need to remember. All right, and calculators are allowed, and you don't have any choices. You have to attempt all the questions. ठीक है ना? अच्छा उसके बाद ये आ गया पेपर 5 का. ठीक है ना? पेपर 5 is 50 marks, 1 hour 15 minutes, no changes. 6 to 8 structured questions. That means again her topic से आपको at least एक question है. Calculators are allowed. And no choices. You have to attempt all the questions. ठीक है ना? अच्छा ये सारा आपका ये बेसिकली डिटेल थी जो मैंने शेयर कर दी आपसे. Let's have a look at the first topic जो कि हम पढ़ रहे हैं, coordinate geometry. It's basically the same thing that you have studied in additional mathematics. The only additional concept you're going to study in AS is going to be the equation of the circle. Nothing else. Otherwise, everything is the same. ठीक है ना? Everything is the same. Additional concept जो आप study करेंगी वो है that is the equation of the circle. ठीक है ना? एक मिनट. Just wait a minute. Let me just drink some water. Start. जी Miss Amna. Let's begin with the first
जी
topic.
सर.
Coordinate geometry. एक Amna, in classical mathematics and analytical geometry, also known as coordinate geometry, is the study of geometry using a coordinate system. So we're going to be using a two-dimensional coordinate system, of which you are pretty aware of. And that system basically going to be involving the coordinates, and a pair of coordinates would make up a point. So we're going to be studying the geometry between the points, and this is what we call it as analytical geometry, also known as the coordinate geometry. And in contrast, this analytical geometry or coordinate geometry is in contrast with the synthetic geometry. Analytical geometry or the coordinate geometry is used in physics, rocketry, engineering, aviation, space science, navigation, etc. On the other hand, the synthetic geometry is a study of geometry without the use of coordinates or formula. All right. जो आपकी synthetic geometry है, that involves studying the geometry of the objects or shapes using tools, basically. So it relies on the tools that are directly related to them to draw a conclusion and solve problems. So the geometry that we study while using the tools like set square and compass and and protractor and all. So all these tools are basically and we use different formulas like formula of area, a formula for circle and square and all. But basically, the geometry that we study by using tools, and the tools I have mentioned, few examples. So that geometry is what we refer to as synthetic geometry. Apart from it, whatever in another way, if you study geometry of any shape or an object using either a coordinate system or either using formulas, so that is what we refer to as analytical geometry. Basically, coordinate geometry is a branch of analytical geometry. In analytical geometry, we have basic geometry that includes using formulas for area and volume and surface area and all. ठीक है ना? Or you may use the coordinate system as well to study the geometry of the shapes and figures. Acha, the coordinate system consists of two axes. The vertical axis is referred to as y-axis and the horizontal axis is referred to as x-axis. And over here, these are what we call as points, A and B. And each point is basically comprises of a pair of coordinates. And those pair of coordinates basically define the position of this point A in this coordinate system, where it is actually lying, with respect to a reference point, which we call it as origin. Okay, now, so basically, what this point represent is what these coordinates represent is the position of this point with reference to this, with respect to this reference point, which we call it as origin. This is what we call as origin. This is our reference point. So with respect to this, at what position this point A lies is 2 units along the horizontal axis, 3 units along the vertical axis. So you may represent like 2, 3. That's what these coordinates represent, the position of the point in this 2-dimensional coordinate system with respect to origin. Okay, Amna. And similarly, same goes for B as well. And you may have like multiple points. You may have A, B, C, D, E, and that may lie in any of the 4 quadrants. These are what we call as quadrants. So चारों में से आपका point किसी quadrant में भी lie कर सकता है. ठीक है ना? Now, in order to develop a geometry between the points, you need to join them. ठीक है ना? जब तक आप points को join नहीं करेंगे, कोई geometry नहीं आपकी form होगी. ठीक है ना? You won't be having any shape, any line, any figure unless you join the points. ठीक है ना? So once you, for example, if you have a pair of points A and B and you join the points, so what can you get is a line. Now this is the simplest figure, ठीक है ना, of geometry. That is a line, and that could be formed by joining any 2 points. ठीक है ना? अगर आप कोई भी 2 points को join करते हैं, so the simplest figure that you get is a line. Although you just need 2 points to form a line, but when you talk about line, so it passes through infinite number of points. ठीक है ना? अगर मैं ऐसे extend कर दूं दोनों तरफ, even in between आपकी जो line है वो infinite number of points से गुजर रही है, but what we are bothered about is that the 2 points that we have used to that we have basically joined to form that line A and B. And now what is the first thing that you can study now once you have joined these 2 points? पहली characteristic जो के of the geometry between these 2 points जो कि आप study कर सकते हैं is the length. And how could you find out the length between the 2 points is basically finding out the length of this line. And how can you find out is by using the formula. And formula is a simple one that you have already studied in additional mathematics. ठीक है? I hope you don't need explanation for this, Miss Amna. It's a basic formula.
जी
अच्छा, आमना, एक तो ये जो फॉर्मूला है, now you need to first know, आपने एड मैथ्स में पढ़ी होगी, आई डोंट नो आपको कैसे पढ़ाया था. एक तो यहाँ पे मैंने कुछ यहाँ पे पॉइंट्स मेंशन किए हैं. ये पॉइंट्स बेसिकली आप what they are trying to tell you. बेसिकली ये जो है ना, ये जो आपके पॉइंट्स हैं, ये जो आपके पॉइंट्स हैं, दिस टेल्स यू के फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ये आपका जो फॉर्मूला है वो किन सिचुएशंस में यूज होगा. If the question explicitly tells you or asks you to find out the length or distance between 2 points, तब आप ये फॉर्मूला यूज करेंगे. Secondly, when it asks you to calculate the perimeter of a figure. So if you have like multiple points, like over here you have C, you have over here D and E. So like over here, so like you're gonna have this such figure. Now this is A, B, C, D, E. Now you have like 5 points. You have joined them. You're getting a figure. Now, if you have been asked to calculate the perimeter of this figure, so what it would be, it will be just the sum of the lengths of this, some of the side lengths of this figure. And how would you know the side lengths is by calculating simple the lengths. तो आप क्या करेंगे कि ये जितनी इंडिविजुअल साइड लेंथ्स हैं, ये जितनी आपकी इंडिविजुअल साइड लेंथ्स हैं, ए बी बी सी बी ई सी डी, sorry, A, B, B, E, E, D, C, D, A, C. So these are the 5 sides of this figure. So once you're going to calculate the lengths of all these sides, आप इन sides इस figure की सारी sides की length calculate करेंगे using the formula, and you're going to add them up. You're going to get the perimeter. Basic concept from your knowledge of mathematics. And how would you calculate the length of each side is by using this formula. So while calculating the perimeter, आपको इस formula की जरूरत पड़ेगी. अच्छा, लास्ट पॉइंट जिसमें आपको इस फॉर्मूले की जरूरत पड़ेगी इज द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ इक्विडिस्टेंट पॉइंट्स. ठीक है ना? इक्विडिस्टेंट पॉइंट्स क्या होते हैं? इक्विडिस्टेंट पॉइंट्स क्या होते हैं? लेट्स सपोज यू हैव C that is equidistant from A and B. So A and B will be referred to as equidistant points, or you may call it as, or you may say that C is equidistant from A and B. So the length or the distance between A and C and B is going to be equal. So of course, if any of the coordinate of any point will be unknown, so you will be using this concept if the question states you. So while using this concept of equidistant, so while using the concept of equidistant points, you will be using this formula. ठीक है ना? क्योंकि basically idea यही है कि आपका एक point है वो 2 points equidistant है, तो उनकी length आप equal रखेंगे, and then you would be finding out any of the unknown coordinate of any point. So Samna, is it clear or not?
जी सर.
nothing new for you. Achha, now the second concept is of the midpoint of a line, midpoint of 2 points. So that is simply you add up the x coordinates of the 2 points divided by 2, add up the y coordinates of the 2 points divided by 2, x1 plus x2 over 2, y1 plus y2 over 2. Nothing new. अच्छा, जो midpoint का concept है, that's something you're going to be using if you will be if you just want yourself, or if the question explicitly asks you to evaluate the midpoint of the line or the midpoint of 2 points, तब आप ये formula use करेंगे. Secondly, आप use करेंगी when finding out the equation for a perpendicular bisector, because you know a line that is a perpendicular bisector, so it basically bisects the other line. So while it's going to bisect the other line, this is the perpendicular bisector. It's going to bisect this line AB. So bisect means it's going to divide this into 2 equal parts. So that means this line is going to be passing through the midpoint of this line. All right, it's logical. And in order to evaluate the equation of this perpendicular bisector, you need to have this midpoint. You need to find out to evaluate the equation, you need 1 point and the gradient. And how would you know the gradient of this perpendicular bisector is कि आपने AB का gradient evaluate करेंगे, उसको reciprocal करके sign change करेंगे, so you're going to get the gradient of this perpendicular bisector. You need 1 point on this perpendicular bisector, and that's going to be the midpoint through which is going to be passing through, and that using 1 point and gradient, you're going to be evaluating the equation. Acha, now the third situation in which this formula of midpoint is going to be used is when you've been asked to calculate the coordinates of any of the vertex of a regular quadrilateral, or the coordinates of any of the point of a regular quadrilateral. Now, regular quadrilateral includes 4 figures: square, rectangle, rhombus, parallelograms. Any other quadrilateral other than these 4 is not going to be referred as regular quadrilateral. यही 4 है. और इनमें से अगर आपकी, because all of these going to have 4 vertices, तो अगर किसी भी vertex के coordinates आपको नहीं पता, आपको evaluate करना है, तो आप midpoint की concept use कर सकती हो. कैसे करेंगे? उससे पहले मैं आपको पहले इन चारों figures की कुछ properties बता दूं जो कि आपने ध्यान में रखनी है. एक तो ये कि square, all of the angles at the vertex, at each vertex of a square and rectangle are 90 degrees. ठीक है ना? Not in rhombus. Rhombus और parallelogram में at vertices जो आपके angles होते हैं, they are not 90 degrees. One is greater than 90, other is less than 90. ठीक है ना? अच्छा, square में all 4 sides are equal. Rectangle के अंदर opposite sides are equal. Same goes for rhombus and parallelogram. Rhombus similar to square in terms of side lengths. So side lengths rhombus की equal होती हैं, parallelogram की opposite side lengths equal होती हैं. ठीक है ना? अच्छा, तो अब इसके अलावा what else? आमना जो आपके diagonals हैं स्क्वायर में और रेक्टेंगल में, उनकी लेंथ इक्वल होती है. जितनी लेंथ इसकी उसी की लेंथ नहीं होगी, जितनी इसकी उतनी उसकी. रोम्बस और पैराग्राम में डायगोनल्स की लेंथ अनइक्वल होती है. ये छोटा डायगोनल है, ये बड़ा डायगोनल है, ये छोटा डायगोनल है, ये बड़ा डायगोनल. ठीक है ना? 3 प्रॉपर्टीज तो ये हो गई. अच्छा, चौथी प्रॉपर्टी ये है कि जो एंगल्स इंटरसेक्ट करते हैं, दे इंटरसेक्ट एट राइट एंगल इन स्क्वायर एंड इन रोम्बस. और रेक्टेंगल में जो इंटरसेक्ट कर रहे हैं और पैराग्राम में, वो एट राइट एंगल्स नहीं करते. ठीक हो गई बात? ये चौथी प्रॉपर्टी हो गई. अब लास्ट प्रॉपर्टी जो है ना, बेसिकली सब में लास्ट प्रॉपर्टी बेसिकली कॉमन है सब में, एंड दैट इज कि अगर आप इन चारों रेगुलर क्वाड्रिलेटरल में अगर आप यहाँ बीच में खड़े हुए हैं तो बेसिकली आप दोनों डायगोनल्स के मिड पॉइंट में खड़े हैं. If you are at M, so you are at the midpoint of both the diagonals, AB and AC and BD. And this is the same in all these four cases. Here of square, rectangle, rhombus, parallelogram, चारों की ये प्रॉपर्टी है कि जो डायगोनल्स के मिड पॉइंट है, दोनों डायगोनल्स का जो मिड पॉइंट है वो सेम है. Is it clear, Mr. Samna, or not? Is it clear, Amna, or not?
जी सर.
अच्छा, अब ये आप कैसे कॉन्सेप्ट यूज करेंगी कि अगर आपको इन चारों रेगुलर कोऑर्डिनेट में से किसी एक क्वाड्रिलेटरल के किसी एक वर्टेक्स के कोऑर्डिनेट्स अननोन है तो आप मिड पॉइंट का कॉन्सेप्ट कैसे यूज करेंगी. मैं आपको पहले वर्बली बता देता हूँ. आप लेट सपोज आपको बी के कोऑर्डिनेट्स नहीं पता, ए सी डी के पता है, तो आप ए सी डी का मिड पॉइंट निकालेंगी. एम आ गया. अब आप बी डी पे मिड पॉइंट का फॉर्मूला लगाएंगी, एम के कोऑर्डिनेट्स रखेंगे, डी के रखेंगे और बी के निकालेंगे. इज इट क्लियर और नॉट, मिस आमना? And this same going to be same in all these four cases.
जी सर, क्लियर है.
All right, let's move on. अच्छा, one more thing, area of triangle. Have you done Hero's formula? Hero's formula किया आपने?
सर, हीरोज फॉर्मूला नहीं करा है.
Okay, I'm going to explain it to you in the next class. You don't worry. मैं आपको explain कर दूँ. बहुत easy है, ठीक है ना? अच्छा, you must be knowing how to calculate the gradient. It's not something new for you.
Yes.
Acha, gradient, when you talk about gradient, so you're going to be learning two sub concepts, and that is the concept of linear points. If you have three collinear points, A, B, C, so how would you evaluate any of the unknown coordinates? So you're going to be using the concept of gradient. So if you have more than two collinear points, so if you take any two pairs of these points like AB and BC, या AB and AC, ठीक है ना, कोई भी आप दो pairs of points if you're going to pick up, so the gradient is going to be same, ठीक है ना, gradient आपका same होगा. तो कोई भी आप दो पेयर ऑफ पॉइंट्स पिक कर लें तो आपका जो ग्रेडियंट है इज गोना बी इक्वल. सो यू गोइंग टू बी यूजिंग दिस कंडीशन. आप दोनों के ग्रेडियंट्स की इक्वेशंस बनाएंगे, इक्वल रखेंगे और जो भी अननोन है आपके पास कोऑर्डिनेट वो फाइंड आउट कर लेंगे. द नेक्स्ट कॉन्सेप्ट इज द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ पैरेलल लाइंस. सो इफ यू हैव टू पैरेलल लाइंस, so the gradient of both the lines are going to be equal. If you have perpendicular lines, अगर आपकी दो लाइंस परपेंडिकुलर हैं, then the product of the gradient of the two perpendicular lines is always equal to -1. Remember that if you have two perpendicular lines, then the gradient of those two lines, the product of the gradient of those two lines is going to be equal to -1. So if you know one of them, you just going to get you just go on the other side, divided by -1, you're going to get the line gradient of the other line. Is it clear or not, Miss Amna? Yes, Miss Amna.
जी सर, क्लियर है.
You know how to form an equation of a line? Y equals to either using mx plus c or y minus y1 equals to mx minus x.
हाँ सर, दोनों फॉर्मूलाज पढ़े हैं।
पता है आपको, ग्रेडियंट हो गया, इक्वेशन हो गया, मिड पॉइंट हो गया, डिस्टेंस हो गया। एज फार एज एरिया इज कंसर्न, तो वो मैं आपको कल जब क्वेश्चंस कराऊंगा कल वाली क्लास में, तो आई एम जस्ट गोइंग टू एक्सप्लेन यू हाउ टू यूज दिस फॉर्म। जी
माय क्लास।
सबर कर जाएं 5 मिनट। ये सामना, इज इट क्लियर और नॉट? कल की क्लास में जब मैं आपको क्वेश्चंस करवाऊंगा तो आई एम गोना एक्सप्लेन इट टू यू हाउ टू यूज दिस फॉर्मूला। इट्स वेरी सिंपल।
ठीक है सर। जी ठीक है।
ऑलराइट।
जी।
One last thing, when you talk about area of a triangle or parallelogram or rhombus, so area of rhombus or parallelogram is base times height, and area of triangle is half times base into height. अच्छा, ये जो base और height है ना, पहले आप ये understand करें, this base and height are the two sides or are the two lengths in a triangle that are perpendicular to each other. First of all, ये आपने याद रखना है कि जो बेस और हाइट होते हैं ना, चाहे पैराग्राम हो, रोम्बस हो, ट्रायंगल हो, इसमें जो फॉर्मूला, इनके जो एरियाज के फॉर्मूला, एरिया के फॉर्मूलाज के अंदर जो बेस और हाइट है, these are the two lengths that are perpendicular to each other. Now in a right angle triangle, you already have two lengths that are perpendicular to each other. So you take both of these. एक ये ले लेते हैं, एक ये ले लेते हैं, half into half करते हैं, एरिया आ जाता है, simple. But if you have a triangle that is other than a right angle triangle, that is you don't have two side lengths that are perpendicular to each other, तो फिर आप in that case area of triangle कैसे evaluate करते हैं using this formula? So what you're gonna do, you just choose one vertex, for example B. अब ये right angle triangle नहीं है, you're going to draw a line perpendicular to the opposite side length. इस vertex से आपने opposite side तक एक perpendicular line draw करी. Now you have two lengths that are perpendicular to each other. This length and this length. ये दो lengths आ गए जो perpendicular to each other हैं. Take one of them as base, other one as height, into half is going to get the area. और ये जरूरी नहीं है सिर्फ B के साथ हो, ये आप A के साथ भी कर सकते हैं. Now this is going to be this length and this opposite side is going to be your one of them is going to be your base and other one is going to be your height. और जरूरी नहीं है जो वर्टेक्स से आप ऑपोजिट साइड तक लाइन ड्रॉ करते हैं, ये जरूरी नहीं है कि फिगर के अंदर लाया करे, ये फिगर के बाहर भी लाया कर सकती है. जैसे इस वर्टेक्स से अगर मैं यहाँ तक ले जा रहा हूँ ऑपोजिट साइड तक, तो दिस इज गोइंग टू बी योर हाइट, यू कैन टेक दैट, एंड दिस द ऑपोजिट साइड इज गोइंग टू बी एज योर बेस. इज इट क्लियर सामने और नॉट?
जी सर।
ये मैंने आपको कॉन्सेप्ट सारे एक्सप्लेन कर दिए. आई एम गोइंग टू एक्सप्लेन some questions to you tomorrow. ठीक है ना? कुछ मैं क्वेश्चंस करूंगा, कुछ क्वेश्चंस मैं करूंगा कल. सही है? कुछ क्वेश्चंस आप कल क्लास में करेंगी और फिर ये टॉपिक आपका खत्म हो जाएगा. आपको टॉपिकल वर्ब बुक P1 की जो है ना वो डिलीवर हो जाएगी. आप फिर इस टॉपिक के जो क्वेश्चंस हैं फ्रॉम पास्ट पेपर्स वो अटेम्प्ट करेंगे उस वर्ब बुक से. इज इट क्लियर मिस आमना और नॉट?
जी सर।
रिकॉर्डेड लेक्चर मैं आपको ग्रुप पे शेयर करता जाऊंगा, ठीक है ना, ताकि आप रिसोर्स बिल्ड होते जाए. ठीक है ना? दुआ में